Okay, so to start this out, since we don't have a whole lot of time and things change, I figured I'd just do a video. I have my heat a little over medium, just before 6. So at a, I don't know, light to medium boil. So you just take your Jolly Rancher with the wrapper, put it in the water, and I'm going to try and set my camera so that you can see. I have just a regular sugar shaker that I use. It sets up my candy so that it sits up, so that it doesn't, the rose doesn't sag. Hang on, Bubby. Hang on. And then I have a wet washcloth because it gets sticky and you're going to have to wipe your hands off. And you don't want to make a bigger mess. And just a spoon. I use a wooden slotted spoon. Okay. So I'm going to set my camera down. Get down, hot. So that you can kind of see. Okay, so should be about time. I'm going to go ahead and take this piece of candy out and put another one in. Kind of shake off as much water as I can. And you want each of these to sit in there between 45 seconds to a minute. Just get it off of there. And you're going to smush, and try to smush in the middle first because that's where it's still hard in the middle. And then you're just going to, then you're going to push it out and kind of make your petal per se. And then I take it just to make it more pliable. I dip it for just a few seconds. And then I wrap it and kind of squeeze the top so it doesn't fall. Wrap this around. And there's your first part of your rose. And I just kind of push it on there and I set it in my little sugar holder. By now my next one should be just about ready. Go ride your bike, sissy. And I'm going to put another piece of candy as I'm taking this one out. Put all the water off. And then same thing, unwrap it, and it should be really nice and pliable. You don't want it too sticky, otherwise it's not going to work out very well. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You see it's like not perfect, but that's okay because like a rose, not all roses are perfect. And I just set it on here, push the bottom part down, and then I push this over so that it has a nice shape. And don't worry too much because you should have enough time to fix it at the end if it's not right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my third one out, put another one in. Okay, so I have, and I am wearing gloves so that you know, because it gets sticky and this is hot. Okay, same thing, it should be nice and pliable. You should just kind of, it's like kind of like a piece of taffy. And you're just going to push it out, and I like to make my top kind of round. And you're going to have a piece in the middle that's not quite melted, so you can just put it back in there for just a second and kind of smush that out so that you don't have you know, a big bulge in your rose. And then you're going to put it around the top so that there's your third petal. Okay, by now you should have your next one ready, so we're going to take it out. And as many as I do several at a time. And I just do the petals first, get a bunch, you know, an order done, and then I go ahead and do the leaves after. But because I'm trying to show it all to you at once, I'm going to go ahead and do it all at once. So there's my final one, and you want to make sure that, you know, on each one you dip it for just a second. Make sure you get as much of the water off. And then this one, I'm going to stick right around the top. And then at the end, if you don't quite like the shape, you can do as you please with that. And just make it to how you want it. The petal, I'm going to do next. And I always use green as my petal. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there. Get rid of some of my trash here. My hands are sticky. So I'm just going to wipe my hands off a little and wipe up my mess a little. Your spatula or spoon will get sticky, so wipe it up a little bit. And as you get faster, you might want to start at a lower heat. I'm fairly fast at mine, but you don't want it to get too gooey or it's going to be really hard to do. Or if it sits too long, it can melt your candy completely. So you don't want it to be completely melted. So we'll let this sit in here for just a minute, and sometimes stirring it helps. So we're going to get it to where it is pliable. And if it's not quite pliable, you can always put it back in for a few seconds to help. And just real carefully, and it's hot, real carefully undo the wrapper. And this one's a little not done, but first I do is I'm going to do my top, which is the leaf. And then I'm going to take the bottom and kind of push it to the side. Just like that. So when it's done, it kind of looks funny, but that's about what you want it to look like. And I dip the bottom edge in there. And then I'm going to set it on the side like this.
You're not getting mommy's drink.
And I'm going to wrap it. And then wrap it this side and just kind of make sure that it's on there. And depending on how you want your leaf to look, you know, that's up to you. But there's your finished product. So I hope you understood this. If not, you can message me if you have any questions, or if you still want me to show you in person, just let me know.